Guys, welcome back to episode 5 of my Porsche 911 turbo restoration. This giant box on my head means we're done playing around. It's time to cut this car up. We should probably pull a headliner first, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
I gotta grab the drill too, so.
Wait, you using the saw?
I'm not a monster. I'm not cutting the roof off a Porsche with that thing. Are you kidding me? All right, guys, saw jokes aside, because we do have a little more work to do to this before we actually cut the roof off of it. I've been super excited about this video for like 2 months now. In fact, I ordered this roof on the way home from buying the car, literally in the truck. Now, if you're familiar with 997 turbo options, you could not get one without a sunroof. Period. This is a full carbon roof skin from FVD in Germany. Not only does it look great, but it is like
super light. That's the most impressive part.
I agree. The bottom of it is just raw carbon. I mean, look at that. It's just so good. Now, as much as I hate sunroofs, that's not even the biggest plus for this part. That's weight reduction. I'm not sure exactly how much weight we're gonna lose in this project, but we'll keep track of it throughout the video and get a total for you guys. We just had the glass pulled this afternoon, so there's honestly not that much left to do before we can cut this roof off of here. Now I'm gonna put you on the spot, Fernando. How much weight we losing on this project?
I'm gonna say solid 40 pounds.
40 pounds? Yeah. All right, Fernando's going 40. I'm going 55. I'm going high. I mean, I picked that roof up. You haven't picked it up yet, have you?
No, I didn't.
Back inside. Right?
Yeah, you're right. I think that I'm wrong.
Craziness.
You're gonna say 56.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Hey.
His price is right of me. You guys might be wondering, why don't more people do this? The roof isn't overly expensive. It's about $2,500. However, here's where you run into issues on this whole project. Pretty much your only option if you want to do this swap is to buy an OEM GT2 headliner from Porsche, and unfortunately, they are not cheap. Last time I was at AIM, I got a look at a car that had the full OEM conversion, and it looked awesome. Fortunately, I think I have a solution that doesn't involve spending $2,500 with Porsche. Guys, meet solution.
Hi, I'm Solution.
Okay, perfect. You know how to work a sewing machine, right?
I've done a few things.
Come outside with me real quick. Now, it just so happens Alex here, which is one of my business partners, owned an upholstery shop before he came down here. So, I think he might be able to take care of this and might be able to save us a few bucks.
There's a sew line right here in the factory headliner, and that is a listing that is just holding the headliner up. You can see it actually moves. We're gonna recreate that up here, and we'll attach them to the outer bars, and we'll sew across and put a listing inside that actually holds the headliner up and gives it tension, and then it won't require the sunroof to hold it up like it is right now. So this just flips down like this, and the front plastic piece is the housing, which clips up into the roof line here. We're probably gonna have to modify this. And then the sides here are these little plastic clips.
That's what I'm curious about, because I haven't seen a headliner like this before.
Yeah. All they do is clip around, and you just pop them out. This is a listing that is sewn into the headliner. That's the stitch line you see. And they have this metal bar that goes over it that holds it. That's all that's gonna hold it.
The headliners that I'm familiar with are shells, not a piece of fabric like this. So this is completely new to me, and once again, we are depending on Solution to take care of us here. Hopefully we have a working sunroof on this thing, or this is gonna get way more complicated, so. Yeah. Your bomb's away here. Oh, there we go. We have to buy the listing rod. We already have material, which I'll show you guys that in a second, but we just need to buy the rod, I guess. All right, we're in here at the old parts rack, and we did already get our GT2 map light in. This is kind of the last key piece to the puzzle here. The next thing I'm curious about here is how close of a match is this material we got? It's not perfect, but fortunately in that car, that is the only piece of Alcantara, right? So we don't have to match something else. It's gonna be fine.
This is going to be, yeah.
So I'm gonna hit Home Depot, hunt down some nice long rod. He's gonna order that listing material, and that means we can come in here first thing tomorrow and cut that roof off. We got ourselves some nice spot weld drill bits here. It's only fitting that they're also from Germany. The plan of attack here is to get the rest of the sealant off here so we can see all the spot welds, pull these moldings, drop the sunroof, and then we're gonna get to drilling. 3 hours in, this honestly has not been too bad. I'll go through it in depth after we get it off.
I have to give Carrington credit here. I thought this was going to be an all-day type affair.
It's gonna be like a 4-hour job. It's not gonna be too bad, man.
I am curious, though, if anybody knows what, I guess, normal like time is on removing a roof on one of these.
Shop time, yeah.
Shop time, yeah, whatever it books for.
I was gonna praise these drill bits after I was done this and giving you guys the rundown, but I need to brag about them to Austin right now.
So it's an actual spot weld drill bit.
Yes.
The head does look different. You can see the head is flat.
Retail on those is $45 each. I've never had a drill bit that expensive, and it is worth every penny. I mean it.
How many did you buy? Two?
Two.
And you didn't even, and there's still one unopened. So whole roof with one drill bit.
It didn't dull. It didn't like
Wow.
stop working well. I asked them how many they had. They said they had 6. I told her I'd probably be back for more, and I'm not gonna be. I'm using a wood chisel for this. It's worked pretty well, but I'm positive it's not the right tool. I think this is off.
I say that seemed like it had like good movement.
Little bit of seam sealer. You know what the amazing part about this whole deal is? I've only broke one thing, and it's a plastic clip. One
Okay.
plastic clip. I'll take it.
Hey, there we go. So I don't know if you've talked about it in this video yet, since I haven't been around for a lot of your recording. On a scale of 1 to 10, how terrifying is it doing this? Never having done it before and doing it on a Porsche.
It should be terrifying, but some reason it's not.
Okay.
I can't explain it. If we do this and put it back together, and there's like a 1-inch gap in the glass, it's like fitting diagonal after this, then we might have a problem. But for now, I'm just high hopes. I think everything's went pretty smooth. Oh, it's coming off. Okay, I didn't expect it to do that, so I guess this is what you call the money shot, right?
Ta-da!
One for the time lapse. I mean, that thing's been running for 2 hours now, so hopefully it's still alive, but hey guys. Okay.
Okay.
Now, you see anything on the bottom of this that looks weird to you?
I see somebody did some welding on it. What is all that?
So, the puzzle pieces are starting to come together on this car.
Sealer, is that factory?
This sealer here, I
there's
believe, is
two.
factory.
Yeah, there's some down there
Yeah,
too.
so if you look right there, that goes right here and right here, which we're going to have to put that for the new roof too, so that's how it should be. But if you guys remember the first episode, I was looking at it, I'm like, why did he buy a sunroof assembly? I don't quite know why. I didn't catch this in the receipts till after I left, but it also got the sunroof panel replaced. Now it makes sense. So this car at some point had roof damage. Obviously this has been pulled. You can't tell. I'll give him credit. Now, given the quality of the build on this car, and I say build loosely, this isn't surprising, but the sunroof had shims in it. And by shims, I mean some shims, some of these, and some Home Depot washers. It did fit properly. So, what do we give him on that fix? Because it didn't look bad. The hardware was all mismatched, but
I mean, you got to give him for it looking good. You get at least half credit, so that's at least a 5 out of 10.
yeah. The main thing here is this whole like assembly isn't like bent in, isn't all screwed up. It was just cosmetic roof damage, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no evidence, just looking at it briefly, that it had anything more than, you know, who knows, it might have even been like light hail damage,
Yeah, I mean, it could have very well been.
and
hail
it
damage.
just had a little bit at the front or something like that.
You know, a very isolated hailstorm in like a 6-inch radius.
Yeah.
Before you go any further with this, Dalt, I need your guess on how much weight we're losing. Without picking up any of this stuff over here, because nobody else had the opportunity to do that.
I'm going to say 30. I think that the roofs, even though that one's metal, I think there's probably only like 5 pounds in the roof skin itself.
I think so, yeah.
And then, so I'll probably be a little bit light, but I'll stick to my guess at 30.
We got this box of hardware too, which isn't much, but you know, a pound.
I mean, I was going to say still, that's at least a pound.
Yep. So I guessed 55.
Okay.
Fernando Price is right to me at 56, and he acted like he didn't know what he was doing. So he really put.
Hey, they got to have prices right now, Salvador.
We're going to find out the answer to that in just a minute, but first, one issue we were having in the planning of the new headliner is where we're going to stick those rods. I think, while they weren't used in this, that's what these are for, and I'm going to have Austin tell me because he definitely knows better than I do. So I think that rod goes through there, in that hole, and that's the stop.
That is definitely possible.
Normally in the metal you would have the hole,
Yeah.
and then you'd have 2 like dimples that stuck out, and when you moved the bow, when it got to vertical,
It would click
it would
in.
end up in the hole. It would basically click. and the little dimples would keep it from going too far
Yeah.
forward or too far backward because you want it to be true across the car.
Yeah.
So this little part of the clip
That would act as that, right?
Would act as that,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what
I'm
I'm.
saying. Yeah, so that little thing would basically keep it true, and then it has a little bit of play in it for when you tension the headliner
Yeah.
because it tensions just like old car headliners do.
Something's wrong with this forklift. I don't know what's going on.
You're gonna believe the
Freaking driver.
No, it's something with the hydraulics, I think. 235.
Whoa!
250?
Now go ahead and hold it.
49, 250.
258.
It's about
255.
probably 6 pounds.
So
It's got its
somewhere to like 7
We'll
pounds.
call
is-
it, yeah.
seven-
Seven
call it
sounds
7.
fair. Wow, that's incredible.
Oh man, now that
I
you
know,
mention it,
I
I'm way
know.
off.
Wow, 18 pounds.
18 pounds.
So you have at least 10 pounds just in the
Yeah,
roof skins themselves.
This is.
That's the heavy part.
Yeah, this is.
yeah, that thing's ridiculous.
24.
24?
Wow,
I
that's
thought it'd
a
be more than
lot.
that.
24,
I thought
yeah.
it'd be more.
Not
35.
10. Yeah, so 35 pounds. Yeah.
35 pound
well,
loss.
35 pounds is 35 pounds.
Yeah, I
so-
did think it was maybe going to be a little more, but you can't go wrong with that. Like, how can you be mad at weight loss like that?
I'm going to say it in the video because I know someone's going to say it in the comments.
That it's up high?
That's from the highest point
Yes,
in the car.
100%.
That is the highest point in the car.
Back up. It was a struggle to get up here.
Now you got a reason to get mad of it.
I got Kurt Schilling. Now, as for the roof, in case this is something you're planning on doing yourself, honestly, it looks pretty daunting. But as I've already said, it's not that bad. It is a lot of drilling, but that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really hard, complicated, or otherwise not straightforward about taking this thing off. This row of adhesive there just popped right off. We didn't have to do anything with it. All you're gonna have to do is grab yourself one of those bits, go to town, and I think you'll also be surprised at how easy it is. Now, we can talk about how easy this portion of this project was all day. I truly think the hard part is what comes next. It's common knowledge that aftermarket carbon parts simply don't fit that well. I hope since this one appears to be great quality, it's not gonna be the case here. Obviously, there's only one way to find out. The 3M epoxy and the tool that we're gonna use to put it on is gonna be here shortly. We're gonna get in here first thing in the morning to see just how good that roof fits. This is the day we've all been waiting for, and by we all, I definitely mean just me. We're fitting the roof. I believe we have all the supplies we need. We have 3M DP420 epoxy adhesive. We have this way too expensive 3M applicator. Before we can do anything else, I do have to go ahead and prep this surface. I'm gonna wire wheel it. I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera because let's be honest, nobody wants to watch me sit here and wire wheel for an hour straight. Guys, this was a first for me, but we lost a microphone, so I'm narrating this part during editing. I had no idea what to expect when we were test fitting this thing, and honestly, I was fairly nervous. As soon as we put that roof on there and I noticed the edges were not extended out as far as the OEM roof, I really thought we were about to be in for a terrible time. Fortunately, we got over that fairly quick because as soon as we sat those roof moldings in there, they fit dead nuts perfect. The seals wedged exactly how they should. It is completely indistinguishable fitment from an OEM roof. I was planning on using the roof rack tie downs to hold down this roof. I thought it was a pretty clever way to hold the roof down using some OEM hardware. The lack of width would not let me drill a complete hole there, so I had to scrap that idea. That excitement from realizing that roof fit perfectly quickly dissipated because it was time to start drilling. Hands down, this was the most nerve-wracking part of this entire install. I had no idea if this clear was going to split, if I was going to crack this roof once I drilled into it. Not a single clue. About that time. Let's drill this first hole. I'm thinking for now I'm going to drill this one on each of the other 4 corners, use those as alignments. Then I'm going to go around and just start to drill my other rivet holes. I'm not going to finish them with the roof on the car. I don't want to chance it going through, the drill nicking the roof or something like that. Wish me luck. Oh, that hurts. I already hit that other front one. I'm going to carefully hit these rear 2. Then I'm going to drill pilot holes through the roof, just touching the metal so I know where to drill. We're going to yank the roof off, then run through the rest of these as quick as possible. Drilled all afternoon. I think we're finally done. Everything's in, everything fits like it should. We probably went overboard with the rivets, but I guess what can it hurt? We did one test there on the roof. It honestly looks pretty good. The roof didn't crack, the roof didn't flex. Now I gotta go coax a couple people to stay a little late with me tonight, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that, get cleaned up, get the adhesive on there, and then it's go time. One of the key pieces here was this tip. It mixes the stuff for you. It's pretty sweet. And keep in mind, once this comes out, we have 20 minutes max.
He's following.
Yeah, see. So this is our first time using this, obviously. This is supposed to be the non-sag formula. Well, she's falling, she's sagging a little bit, but we're gonna see what it does.
God. Wow.
I've never heard lightning like that, like sizzle.
That's not like it did that hole.
I don't know if I'm using too much, too little, or what.
We got 5 minutes already.
5 minutes, fine. Shit, you can just run it with this stuff.
Just run that.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be out of it. That needs to be thick as hell on there, because that doesn't meet.
It doesn't?
It does not meet. What's the old saying? Teamwork makes the dream work. Stupid. Yeah, not the one on the corner, but the one in. Yeah. Stick it in there, and we'll use that to align it. Without a team here to do this, you'd really be racing the clock. If you tried to do this by yourself, this would be tough.
13 minutes.
Yeah, it's all right. Not too bad. We're on there. We just gotta clamp it down and be all good.
This thing is dope.
It is crazy, right? It's gonna make the GT4. Can't give children anything. One thing I was worried about with this is that when it hit this gel coat, when this rivet clamped down and broke, it was gonna crack up here or something. But this gel coat is soft, good stuff. It's not doing that. And super thrilled so far. It did exactly what I wanted to do on that inside. That bead was just high enough where didn't have to use the 3M. This stuff, we had enough left over. It worked perfectly. So I think we're in good shape here. Don't want to jinx us, but you know. This metal back here is super, super thin. It's very flimsy. It's definitely the least structural part of this. I don't know how much time we got left.
Check.
Can't be far off of 20, that's for damn sure.
Oh, 23.
20 minutes, you know what I mean?
Done that part. Tim, our carbon genius friend, said we'd use about 80% of that. We used 100% of it, so at least we didn't go light on it. For doing this the first time, I think we really nailed this, to be honest. And now, we get to play with my favorite marine sealant. It's gonna be a light bead just to cover up any bare metal. I see what they mean about that work time. You guys saw how liquidy this was. Oh, it's sticky, man. And
Looks like grease.
I just realized that they say you definitely don't want to touch this. Then I didn't put on gloves. Then I started playing with it. So if you guys have ever worked with silicone or any kind of epoxy sealant, any kind of sealant at all, once that starts setting up and you need to clean it up, you need to get it, structured the way you want, there's no sugarcoating it. It sucks. The finished product, as far as the sealant looking super smooth in the gutter, isn't exactly how I would like it. Unfortunately, that stuff dried so fast and tacked up that really not much we can do. We're not gonna touch it, we're not gonna look at it. I don't wanna even breathe on it right now. We'll get back here first thing in the morning, put the gutters in, make sure they still fit, and let's hope they do, because if they don't, we're screwed. All right, guys, couldn't wait to get here this morning and clean this roof off, or better yet, have our master detailer Fernando clean it off and really see how this thing looks on the car. The good news is, before we do that, I already test fit the gutters once more just to make sure, and they fit perfectly. The 3M 5200 is definitely a little tacky still. It can take up to 72 hours to really, really cure and get hard, especially when it's 900% humidity out here. As for the epoxy, and I think it honestly might come across in camera, that stuff is rock hard.
Look at this thing.
Oh, that's a piece of the epoxy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Okay, we played with a lot of adhesives yesterday, and we have some on the roof right there.
That was scary.
Yeah,
really scary.
It almost looked like right in the center there, where I had this thing upside down on the bubble wrap there when I was sanding on it. It was kind of pivoting a little bit, and it really scared me, but I'm hoping that comes off.
Let's do the magic trick.
Okay. All that worrying for nothing. And in case you couldn't see it yesterday, this is why we're putting all that 3M down in there. We don't want any water to be able to get in there. I'm 99% sure that 3M epoxy is perfectly sealed under there, but we don't want to take any chances. That's why we ran that extra row of 3M 5200 on there. I'm loving it. This is probably the best mod I've done to this car thus far. Now that Fernando worked his magic on the roof, we have to go check on that headliner. Fortunately, guys, that was really easy. We just made a little insert from some spare plastic I had laying around. The GT2 light bezel still clips in just like the factory one did. You have those little tabs that sit over that plastic, these little guys here that come up and clip over the plastic, and then you just need to make a back support for that right there. We very crudely cut a piece there. It slides right under. As long as we bond that up, we should be good to go. Now this portion definitely is not necessary, but I've had really good luck with this stuff kind of encasing the edges of plastic that I'm trying to attach together, so I'm not in any mood to stop now. And hopefully that's one more problem we just solved. Now it's your turn to work your magic on this thing.
It's gonna be easier than I thought.
Once you get all the fabric off the plastics, you just basically copy it, right?
Just gonna lay down flat, yeah.
So that stuff must not be that hard to bend, right?
It's not, no.
Okay, well that's pretty money. Now the question is here, is it gonna fit the rest of the ones? Or are they all different sizes?
It should get more narrow as it goes back.
I'm not gonna lie, this carbon roof looks so cool that if you could make some like custom panels to just cover all this, I would just leave the carbon roof for all.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it'd be possible to make, like, recreate all the pillar plastics to leave an exposed carbon roof so it's sealed tight to it. I don't know, guys. That might have to be a project for the future. We only got one section out of each rod, so we are one short. Do we drive 30, 40 minutes away, get another section of 6-foot rod? Nah. I have to say, I like the Alcantara listing a little better. You know, it's very Porsche, very supercar-ish. This stuff here is basically where you expect to have to glue it, correct?
Yeah, so this is the old headliner. You see I put an X there?
Yep.
That just means extra. And then I drew some preliminary marks out here of just so I didn't cut myself short, but these lines are where the old headliner was.
And right on the money with the yellow.
Here we're gonna go a little tighter, even though it's showing that it really is about right. We're gonna go a little tighter.
So now I see why you wanted to stop doing upholstery. Like, getting in this position every day just can't be the most fun.
No. I think the rivet might actually be hitting. It looks like it's hitting like the cross brace.
Wait, to cut what?
Like this center area, so that I can get this to flip. Here, I'll just do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you just get that right there. It's vinyl. That looks phenomenal. So I guess that ghetto little bracket that I made ended up working out okay. We are gonna have to glue that because that is just a little loose there. We'll pull that tight and that should make that fine, right?
Yep.
Pull it up and glue it.
Yep, we'll glue it right. I didn't do anything with it. It's just chilling there. Yeah, so we'll do that on both sides here. So one of the biggest things when we're done with this with Alcantara, if you steam it with a steamer, it causes it to relax, and all of these little things right here, even if we didn't glue it, all this would go away. We just finished this thing up, and by we, I mean Alex. So everybody give Alex a thanks on his way out the door because I kept him here far too long tonight. Any way I try to film this, it just does not do it justice. It's very bright in this garage and very dark inside this car, even with my semi-professional auxiliary lighting kit. This headliner project is definitely a success. We do have a couple things left on the to-do list specifically for the interior. One, I have a handful of very minor pieces that I have to order. Two, that factory dome light was missing one of the switches. It was like kind of broken apart. It didn't have the face. It did still have like the physical circuit board back there. So we're gonna have to source that as well. Number three, we're gonna have to pull it down and glue around that dome light. And once again, by we, I mean Alex. Now number four, when we pulled these visors out, one was kind of just hanging in there with the wrong bolt. They were kind of flopping around. These black plastic covers, the cover where the hardware goes, they're supposed to snap right in there, but if you look closely, you can see that every one of those tabs is broken. On our second sun visor here, it's actually cracked, and the actual bolt hole itself is blown out. So that means we're either going to have to hope Porsche sells those plastic parts separate,
or buy new sun visors. One of the next episodes is going to be all about the interior, where we're going to do our roll cage, the seats, and whatever else we can find. What better addition than a set of Alcantara sun visors? I'm sure everybody watching this video at some point or another has taken on a very ambitious project and something has not went right. I sure have, more times than not. That was not the case here. Everything went as good as you could possibly imagine. And fortunately, the end result is absolutely phenomenal. Not only did the product come out great, we learned a ton in the process. I honestly believe that most of you guys watching this could probably pull this off as well. It's really not that bad. And while we knocked the roof out pretty easily, the one area we definitely could not have accomplished by ourselves is the headliner. To make a headliner like this practically from scratch and have it turn out this good definitely requires a lot of prior experience, not to mention the right equipment. Fortunately for me, we had the right people here, Alex and Austin. If you guys can't tell, I am super stoked about the way this turned out. I was really excited when we started, and I'm even more excited now that it's properly finished. And with that said, we're gonna wrap this quick. I have to be in Connecticut in about 10 hours to film with Copart. I think we're gonna have one more episode before this thing goes off to paint, which I am, again, so excited for. I absolutely cannot wait to see this car in its proper color for the first time. As always, if you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the other cool stuff we have coming up. I gotta get home, get some sleep, and get on the road, so I will see you guys next time. We'll do this. And the answer is probably something that you wouldn't expect. And I hear that goddamn chopper. Jesus. Basically, you said you can get me a GT2 headliner, perfect condition, undistinguishable from OEM for like $150, right?
I didn't say any of that.
Shout out to Auto Plus. You are going to be seeing a lot more of them.
You know they're not paying us, right? Somebody turn that fan off, please.
Innovative.
Do Porsche guys call it Germany, or is it like Deutschland? You guys like go that far? They're yelling at us about Porsche versus Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah,
Porsche.
you have to refer to it differently.
Yeah.